Everyone, on three. 1, 2, 3. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get to you. Another one bites the dust. Down. I am indeed referring to the latest news that I have heard. Last year, we got, Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva. Those are the two that I remember specifically. I know there was more. Then GSP basically said that this sport isn't clean. This sport does not have a clean image. One of the reasons why he's going is because of that. And if he wants to clean up, he wants the sport to be cleaner if he's going to return to it. Tim Kennedy did an interview pretty recently about steroids and PEDs, and so did Brian Stan. And it sounds like almost like Kennedy's kind of semi-retiring. If you heard this interview, check it out. Obviously, this is off of the heels of Anderson Silva failing a test and having steroids in his system. This is also, we've got Nick Diaz failing for marijuana metabolites in his system. Before that, we had John Jones and the whole cocaine thing that went down. We had John Fitch as another person, failed a test apparently. And it's just like now, every week since this year, there's going to be some kind of steroid or some kind of drug test failure. And without fail, today, this morning, I turned my computer on. Listen, I was so excited. Yesterday morning, Spider-Man is back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's great news. Like, obviously, I can't do this kind of news. I mean, what news it was. This morning, Hector Lombard fails a drug test. They find steroids in his system. Hector Lombard fails a drug test because they found steroids in his system. Am I surprised by this now? No, I'm not. I'm not surprised by this. There is steroids in all kinds of sports, especially in MMA. I mean, we all knew it during the days of Pride, in Japan. It was pretty much in the contracts from what I understand. I think if you tested all of those guys on Pride, I'd be surprised if there was more than 2 fighters clean on a test. That's just my opinion. I think there was a lot of it going on in the early UFC days, definitely in the early UFC days, up until the 2000s. Now, testing has become more stringent, more stricter, more regulated, much harsher. We're going to find these people. And I, again, in a sense, hats off to finding another false idol, in a sense. I think these guys are pissing so hot they're going to milk the glass at this point. Anderson Silva, now Hector Lombard, all the other names I've mentioned before. When it gets onto the topic of Hector Lombard, first of all, the thing about Hector Lombard is, remember when the Nate Marquardt thing happened, and he was one of the guys that was very vocal about Marquardt being on the gear and being on stuff and, looking for an easy way out and a shortcut out, and Hector, who's an Olympic athlete, wouldn't do anything like that. Do you remember all of that? Now that makes the man look like an absolute hypocrite. But, that's what's happened. That is what's happened. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's even more to come, to be honest with you. It's like the floodgates of hell have opened, and we are just finding more and more people who are pissing so hot that they're melting the glass beakers that they piss in. It's getting ridiculous. I won't be surprised if these guys have to get new toilets all the time with what they're on. Fucking hell. But the problem is, it's just not the problem. The point is, if the fans want a clean sport, this is what's going to happen. Guys are going to get caught. Guys, I said the only way that you're going to catch them is random in and out of competition, Olympic style testing. I say fuck it, take a hair sample, take a blood sample, take the urine, do it as many times as you want. I don't give a fuck. Catch these people out, because it's not good for the sport. And you're talking about a sport, combat sports, where you've got guys hitting each other. It is a lot more dangerous than people realise. And listen, this isn't going to deter me away from MMA. I love MMA, but I want to see a clean sport, and it's going to be hard, or as clean a sport as we can get. And look, this reinforces my stance that I have made very clear on this channel. This is why I'm very anti-steroids, for a number of reasons. Anti-steroids, for fans, it ruins big fights. We had this with Alistair Overeem. I know that a lot of fighters feel that, if we take it, we're going to get this career boost. It's going to make my career go from here to here. My body's going to recover. And you had this success, but then something happens. And it always does, and it always will. With Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem rebuilt his career as a heavyweight. was now one of the biggest stars at heavyweight, had one of the biggest fights against Brock Lesnar. Now he was going to fight for the UFC title, had an opportunity to be the undisputed heavyweight champion and make history. K1 champion, Strikeforce champion, Dream champion, UFC champion, heavyweight championship, main event. What happened? Stuff came up in his test. He was pulled from the fight. His career has never ever been the same. Nate Marquardt, another person, he was building his career again. He was starting to fight as a welterweight, goes all the way down, doesn't even get to fight as a welterweight in the UFC. Kind of rebuilt his career again at Strikeforce with that one fight. But to be honest with you, his career has never reached the highs that it could have after all of that happened. It ruins big fights. Anderson Silva, a guy who, before we knew any of this, was considered the greatest mixed martial artist of all time by many people. Great reflexes, great striking, absolute marvel to watch in the octagon. Now, after all of that's come out, there's always going to be that question mark, that cloud of suspicion as to, was he on it the entire time? You know what I mean? It ruins careers, it ruins legacy. So you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? And I've heard of the culture and I've heard of how it goes. And I've heard that they either start out very, very young when they're teenagers doing this, or they start very, very late towards the twilight of their career. It's those two ways. That's what I've heard a lot of. And I'll even give you an experience. When I was a young kid and I was playing football, I remember being offered something to make me grow bigger when I was 15, and I refused to take it. And I'm glad I never took it, because who knows, I'd probably be on something right now to kind of keep my body working properly. And I'm glad that I never did that. Steroids is not good for the MMA, it's not good for sports in general. I'm sure, there's going to be lots of different, justifications as to why or why not. But once again, if the fans want a clean sport, this is what you're going to get. It's the same thing in pro wrestling. That's why I stood behind a lot of guys when they came off their stuff and kind of slimmed down. I remember a lot of people made fun of Randy Orton for looking like a beanpole in 2007, and I said, guys, you want clean entertainment, then this is what you're going to get. I think they should also test for growth, but that's even harder to find. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. Is anybody at this point surprised? It's like, who's going to be next? Who is going to be next that comes up? And it's interesting when you have guys that present this really strong image of anti-steroids, pure MMA, train like a real man, and then they get popped for it. Very, very interesting. Anyways, I'm going to stop. Let me know what you think. Chris McGregor, if you're watching this, let me know what you think. I am out of here. Going to do another video. I've got a throwback video coming for tomorrow. Guys, take care. Comment, like. If you haven't before, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think of this steroid stuff, this PED stuff. You tell me what you think and who is next. Take care and bye.